Hello, folks. Pleasant good morning to you here from Liberia. Precisely, we're on the Tottenham Boulevard, uh, 17th Street, headed to town. My name is Diamond Slanger. It's a pleasure being here with you this morning. Today is day one of the planned protest action, the March on the Capitol, White Tuesday, as it's been dubbed, and it is being described as the first major protest action if all goes according to plan, according to what the planners have envisioned, that this is supposed to be the very first major protest action this Boycott-Poon administration is poised to face. But it's a beautiful morning here in Liberia, as you do know we in our dry season, so the sun is up as early as it is, and we're driving you around the city to show you how it looks like ahead of today's planned protest on the grounds of the Capitol. So we're a bit far from the Capitol Hill, but as you can see, Christmas decorations have gone up here in front of the ST Language Church on 13th Street. And at other corporate offices, Liberians are gearing up for their daily activities. As you can see, there is somewhat of a slow vehicular movement due to the increased number of vehicles that are headed to town this morning, which is our business sector here, our business district in Liberia. So students are on their way to school as well. Commercial taxi all on the road, and we will be showing you not just the Tottenham Boulevard, but we go on the Capitol Hill as well to show you whether or not there is the presence of state security officers in preparation for today's protest. And all of that has been sparked, according to the organizers, by a series of actions and inactions by the Boycott-Poon administration. And key amongst those, the straw that has broken the camel's back. That is the lead reason for this protest, is the impasse up Capitol Hill, where now we have Richard Nangwe-Poon being recognized as Speaker of the 55th Legislature by not just the executive, but the Senate. In Liberia, we have a bicameral legislature, and so they work in unison. The Senate, which is comprised of 30 senators, 2 from each county, and the House of Representatives, that comprises of 1 representative per electoral district here in Liberia, making a number of 73 representatives. So yes, there's been an impasse up Capitol Hill in the House of Representatives, just in connection with who's Speaker of the 55th Legislature. That all started on the 17th of October. We've been informed that preparations to that fateful day began months prior to when we witnessed some representatives in a total number of 51 at a time. We did see a resolution that at one point in time had 49 signatures and another point had 50 plus signatures there. But since the 17th of October, there's been a lot of other events happening in connection with the removal of Speaker J. Fonati Kofa. By the way, Speaker Kofa, the embattled speaker, has maintained and stood his ground, even in the midst of revelations coming up, the latest from the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Jeremiah Pampoon. He was corroborated to a large extent by the Nimba County District Number 7 Representative Musa Hassanbility, who said there were a series of meetings, including one fateful meeting that was proposed to give a dignified resignation to Speaker Kofa. According to the Vice President and Representative Belete, three counts were put forth by the embattled speaker. One count there to uplift or remove the suspension of lawmakers that have been suspended by the majority black. The second count was to make sure that some of his people get back on committees, and the third was for him to preside over a session that will see him resign and two counts were accepted according to the narrative that we got from both the Vice President and Representative Musa Asambelete. Two of those counts were accepted, and the third, which was for the embattled speaker to preside over the session that would see him resign, that was rejected. But either or, we here today, as you can see, places that we've passed so far. Liberians are going about their activities. So far, I've not seen state security, but we are at the base of Capitol Hill now, where has got our key government installations, the three organs of government, the three branches of government, the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. They are based up on Capitol Hill, including some government agencies and functionaries. So yes, talking about government functionaries, we are the base now of Capitol Hill, and the first we do see is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The cream-like building on my left is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we climbing up the Capitol Hill now. Yes, we on Capitol Hill, and this is Liberia's political seat, and we'll be making our way around the executive mansion and the theater of drama for the past almost 2 months now. The Capitol building is just right ahead of us. So yes, we'll use the way of the executive mansion. We'll use the way of the executive mansion. All right. So we'll wait a minute. Yep. So for those of you who remember Monrovia before the civil crisis, right at where I'm parked right now, waiting to be allowed to pass by this police officer who has graciously accepted that I go, used to be the statue of the unknown soldier that was removed during the days of former President Charles Dakpan Nkange Taylor. Yeah, so this is the grounds of the Capitol we're looking to see. On my left is the executive mansion. So the Capitol building is just here on my right, as I've planned on my right. And yeah, we do see some early birds, police officers. Yes, these are riot police officers, but they've been here since this whole Capitol impasse began. So we do see early bird journalists as well on the grounds of the Capitol building. We'll go down the base of Capitol Hill when we get back. We'll enter the grounds of the Capitol building as well to see if there's the presence of state security. So far, what we've seen, riot police officers. Interesting, bro. Work smart, they say. Not work hard, but work smart. So to get more coverage, she's using this. That's nice. And we do see two police officers as well, just here. So it's still early though, but others would say in anticipation to this hardened protest action, they are expected to see a lot of police officers, stationed here and about. But let's go down towards Pastor Town, and we use the main Tottenham Boulevard and we turn and see. So there isn't a heavy presence of security officers as of the moment around the grounds of the Capitol. We want to turn around Chinatown and okay, so those officers you see there, usually they positioned here as well for the traffic enforcement. So far, nothing out of the ordinary in terms of deployment. Okay. As we're rocking and shaking because of the bad spot right here. So, okay. Yeah. That's one of the challenges driving here. But let's continue. So far, we haven't seen any type of massive deployment in terms of men of the security apparatus here in Liberia. We haven't seen that on our short drive thus far. So So the officers you see there again, it's just the normal routine traffic stops. Officers deployed at this, and that's their normal beat. And so back on the Totman Boulevard, approaching the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. So, folks, ahead of the planned protest action, this is what Monrovia looks like. Activities are ongoing. So you can see activities are ongoing. People moving about. So it's just the same stiff security regiment. Yeah, this is the other entrance towards the Capitol building, and officers have put a barrier there, a checkpoint that we've seen being present since all of this started up Capitol Hill. So this is the Capitol building, and the entrance just opposite the University of Liberia too has got the presence of police officers as well as the Legislative Protective Service. So folks, nothing out of the ordinary in terms of protesters gathering, and as well as large presence of state security officers gathering as well. We'll just see what has been their regular deployment since all of this started up Capitol Hill. That's what we've been seeing. Whether you want to classify this as it's early, but as such a major protest that has been announced, and those who are spearheading this protest as well, including Representative Yeke Koluba of District Number 10. This is all we've seen thus far in terms of the presence of security officers. So we want to make our way on the grounds of the Capitol building. Yeah. See if will be allowed entry. Okay, yes, we have been. And this is the Capitol building. We just see a handful of officers left and right. So I want to park for a moment and just show you around. Then we will depart the grounds. But you can rest assured that the Spoon Network is going to provide you coverage, full coverage, okay, of all of the happenings. So that's all we do see. Just a handful of police officers here. The grounds of the Capitol is still quiet. It's like they come before all of the storm. Like they come before all of the storm. We do not see the vehicles of House Speaker J. Fonati Kofa, the entitled speaker. We've not seen his vehicle or his motorcade. It's just quiet here, and it will surprise you to note that people will start all of the noise and everything once the actors arrive. So far the actors have not arrived, and there is still the presence of journalists on the grounds of the capital. So, folks, we'll show you everything. Folks, we're sorry that we lost audio, but the grounds of the capital is well secured. There isn't the presence of representatives or legislators yet, I should put it that way. But we we will just take a tour around quickly and show you what is happening here on the grounds of the capital. So the speaker, we've not seen the speaker's vehicles yet, but there is one vehicle parked right in the space of where you usually have the speaker's vehicle. And whether it's just to secure the space, yeah, but there still isn't the presence of the embattled speaker, Jonathan Fonati Kufa. So, yes, the presence of security officers is not at an alarming rate in terms of massive deployment uh, in anticipation of a massive protest action. No. What we did see, as you can see, quite um, the grounds here are quite quiet. Some journalists have already arrived to make sure they're not interrupted or impeded in carrying their functions. So, all right, folks. So we departing the grounds of the capital, and officers are making sure to inspect vehicles that are making their way here to the Capitol building.
and we are waiting our turn. And in terms of the presence of state police officers, what we've seen so far is not out of what has been years since the beginning of this impasse of Capitol Hill, the year at the main gate facing the executive mansion. And just watch for a while and see. So the police officers controlling the cone, the legislative security protection services, they year two. And this police vehicle wasn't here when we entered, so this guy is being inspected. And this is a contingent of police officers just here before the executive mansion. So yes, business activities ongoing across Monrovia. What we've noticed, the arrival of protesters, we cannot confirm that because we haven't seen any massive arrivals, or whether or not they come in pockets. Police officers stationed at their regular assignment points here on Capitol Hill. And that's what it is. The Spoon Network is going to provide you full coverage, as we have been doing since all of this started, of what will be unfolding on Capitol Hill today in terms of legislative proceedings and protest action, if there would be any. We'll provide you all of what will be unfolding on Capitol Hill, the full coverage of that. But this morning is just to show you mobilization, if any, up on Capitol Hill. We've not seen thus far whether the organizers are going to bring their people on board vehicles who will be stationed to provide you that, or they will march from designated points and make their way to the Capitol building. But remember, the Ways, Means, Finance Committee of the Majority Black, headed by Representative P. Mark Jury, has said that they are going to pass the fiscal year 2025 draft budget. They're going to pass that on and before Friday of this week. They have divided the committee into subcommittees according to the communique from the House of Representatives. And the budget passage is going to be what we term in Liberia as 4G fast. Last week, Monday, they had the opening of the budget hearing. Revenue generating agencies of government were invited, the LRA, the Ministry of Finance, and the rest of those were invited, including the NPA, the FDA, and the rest. Now, expenditure institutions and entities were also invited to go and sit and defend their budget allotment for the year 2025. And according to the communique from the House, the budget is poised to be passed on and before Friday of this week. With all of that being said, there are still those who feel all of what has unfolded on Capitol Hill has been masterminded by big hands, as we say it in Liberia. And there are different reasons as to why individual representatives forming part of the Majority Black do want to see the speakership tenure of Jonathan Fernandes Kofa come to an abrupt end. There's been a different or diverse reasons. Some of those reasons are politically motivated, other personal vendetta. When you speak to lawmakers, they've got different reasons as to why. But at the end of the day, one of the foremost reasons is the issue of control. Control not just by the Unity Party-led government of the two branches of government, because you can say the judiciary is being controlled. They're meant to be very impartial and independent, but the executive and the legislature, but also control of the House of Representatives itself. That is a very strategic political institution. People within that institution want control over what happens there, who is placed where, how things are done, and it's all about motives. So there are those who will tell you that, look, the Deputy Speaker, Thomas P. Fala, is very influential in the House of Representatives. He's been there for ages. He's the longest serving representative post-war Liberia. And his level of power, his depth, is unmatching and is very, very deep as to where he reaches within the House of Representatives. Also, the Vice President, Jeremiah Pankun, he was an influential representative when he was in the House of Representatives prior to getting a promotion, if you want to call it that way, to the Senate. And people as such, they're very powerful. And Speaker Kofa himself, there are those who say that Speaker Kofa himself is not free of all of the far-reaching attitudes within the House of Representatives. There are those who believe he masterminded the ousting of then Speaker Buffer Chambers for a reason politically known as, dealing death to your enemy, not death in terms of actual death, but making sure that your enemy doesn't return to be strong. So you're killing the baby at birth, that kind of political theory. So there are those who believe that he was involved 100% in the defeat of former Speaker Buffer Chambers so as to pave his way to the speakership position. There are those who also believe that the embattled speaker was influential and instrumental in other influential lawmakers not returning to Capitol Hill to also have authority there at the House of Representatives. But all those are political theories and political permutations and conspiracy theory and all of that. But at the end of the day, this is where we are. And so far the number has been stuck at 44 lawmakers who feel and have said, they have expressed that they no longer want to sit under the gavel of Jonathan Fanati Kofa as Speaker of the 55th Legislature. When all of this started, there was widespread panic across the country. The embattled speaker returned and had an appearance on the Spoon Network where he stated and has always been stating that resignation is not an option. Even though a couple of days back we heard from Representative Musa Hassan Belete and the Vice President, who made an unprecedented appearance on the radio through a telephone interview, stating that the speaker had, discussed what we call dignified resignation. The speaker made a post after the opinion of the Supreme Court was handed. In that post, he used the word transition, and there are those who felt that transition was to, speak on behalf of his men, negotiate. We do see police officers in the back of a pickup truck there. If I can zoom properly, yes, where they headed to, we cannot tell. But whether they'll be going the way of the capital, whether they're going back to town, or it's just a routine, patrol, we also cannot tell you that as well. But we just saw a pickup full of police officers, well-attired police officers, well-geared police officers, as to where they headed to. But up Capitol Hill thus far, as of what we did see and what we showed you, there isn't anything of massive deployment. You see, I'm just right before the LBDI. You see customers started arriving, employees and the rest. So it's a regular business day here in Liberia, with all of the anticipation building up to what this protest will be like. Liberians are going about their activities. People taking their kids to school. You see the student there just crossed one side of the road to the other. Students are making their way to school. Those who are going about their business activities are opening their stores. Time here in the country is 12 minutes to 8 a.m. So almost all of the schools are about to do their morning assemblies, if they do that these days. And all of the attention will be up Capitol Hill. So our teams, our crew members are going to provide you every angle needed. But I'm just here giving you the early bird perspective of what it looks like this morning on Capitol Hill and around Capitol Hill as well. So now to be multi-taxi, because driving in this country is challenging. You say you can drive here, you can drive anywhere. You have to be doing the commentary, showing it around and being attentive behind the steering wheel as well. So you see, this morning, as it usually is in Monrovia, in and around Monrovia, in the morning the traffic heads towards town. In the evening hours, as people leave and get off work, the traffic builds up, heading towards the Beansville end. So this morning, as you can see, the traffic congestion is on the lane headed towards town. And we usually get those who feel like they cannot stay in traffic. They don't wake up early, but they cannot stay in traffic, so they use the opposite lane. We get that on a regular as well. All right, so we'll go around the Vamuma end, just to show you, and we'll bring an end to this live broadcast. So my name is Diamond Slanger. If you're just joining us, we've been taking you on a tour around Monrovia as it builds up, leading to the White Tuesday protest, the March on the Capitol protest that is being spearheaded by some members of the legislature. That protest has been endorsed, according to latest reports, by student groups, political parties, auxiliaries, and the rest. And if it goes according to plan, according to what the organizers have envisioned and what they've said, then this will be the first major, in terms of attendance, in terms of numbers, major protest action to be faced by the Boycott-Coon administration. We've had some protest actions that were planned, carried out, but were unsuccessful to a very large extent, like the one of that was organized by Van Delac Patricks, that has now affectionately been known as Mr. Regroup. That protest, all of us, after all of the build-up, after all of the anticipation, the radio appearances, the publicity, and all of that, that turned out to be unsuccessful to a very large extent, but he said he was going to regroup and will be back. As to whether or not he's lending his support to this protest action as well, we will be on the scenes to provide you everything that will be unfolding up Capitol Hill. So once we get around the Vamuma end, we will then end this broadcast. A recap of all of what we've witnessed so far. Yes, we did go up Capitol Hill. Matter of fact, we were on the grounds of the Capitol building. It's still early yet. We didn't see the large deployment of state police officers. No, we didn't see that. We also didn't see the mass gathering of those forming part of the protest, would-be protesters or protesters. We didn't see any of that. We also have witnessed that business activities are ongoing across the capital city. People are moving about their daily activities. Students are headed to school. Those folks who are part of the workforce going about to their workplaces. Transportation not being impeded, vehicular movements not being impeded, aside regular traffic movements that we see across our country's capital city. Apart from that, nothing else. Yesterday we had a protest action around the headquarters of the Liberia Telecommunications Authority. That is not in connection with what's happening up Capitol Hill, but rather a protest action concerning the reduction of data packages that the LTA has said, the Liberia Telecommunications Authority has said. They've worked with mobile network operators known as MNOs to restore immediately those data packages that Liberians were protesting about. According to the organizers of the Bring Back Our Data protest, if they don't see a full restoration of their data packages and data bundles, then they will head to the office of President Joseph Newman Boyka, who, by the way, has returned to country from Nigeria. From Nigeria. So that was on yesterday, and the LT have said they've restored through the mobile network operators those data bundles and packages that Liberians were protesting about. Today is day one of the White Tuesday or March on the Capitol protest. The organizers have said it's going to be 2 days of sustained protest action. And one of the key voices or individuals behind that protest is Representative Yeke Koluba of District Number 10, Monrovia County. Representative Koluba was seen in Bong County over the weekend or the beginning of this week, because it was on Sunday. He was seen in Bong County at the residence of CDC Senator for Magibi County, Nathaniel Falomagio, one-time Minister of State there for presidential affairs, now Senator of Magibi County. They were seen at his residence in Bong, and with Representative Marvin Cole, who has been suspended from the House of Representatives and removed ousted from his role as the chair on the Rules, Order and Administration there at the House of Representatives. His position has been handed to another lawmaker from Bong County, but his new nemesis in Representative James Cole. So one of those power dynamics and shifts that we've seen so far, happening there at the House of Representatives. So we're around Vamuma. We are almost around the Vamuma end. This is also a major rendezvous point or a pickup point whenever there is a protest in the country or whenever there is a political rally. People gather here at the Vamuma House area to form part of whatever the occasion is, whether political, social, or whatever. So here at the Vamuma House too, this is where we met Vandela Patrick's that day of the regroup protest, where he started off his march with the coconut in his hand. This was where around the exact spot. But let's see if we can observe the gathering. This is in district number 9, and the district number 9 representative Frank Saoco is a strong supporter of Speaker J. Fonati Kofa. So what we see is we see police officers. Their riot shields, their riot shields are positioned. There you have it. We see police officers, their riot shields are positioned. But I have to be careful with my phone because I can check it. Their riot shields are positioned. But it's not a large number as well. So other folks will be gathering here at Vamuma. We'll be going into the various districts as well to see how the mobilizing will be. But in terms of police presence, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4 shields and nearly a dozen officers as well. So this is just around the Vamuma end, and nothing out of the ordinary in terms of police deployment here at Vamuma. All right. So yes, from all indications, law enforcement has taken note that there might be a massive protest action, but in terms of deployment, it's not out of the ordinary to create any sort of panic or fear. Liberians are moving about their activities, and this is where we are. So we want to go to the Catholic Junction area, yes, which is in district number 10 of Representative Yeke Koluba, and see whether police have also gathered there, whether or not they've been deployed there in district number 10. So we have to move slowly and cautiously, my people, because we're doing multiple things at the same time. Yeah. All right, so let's go to district number 10. We'll go around the Catholic Junction area and pass through the Old Road Market area, go around the headquarters of Representative Koluba, and see if they're mobilizing this morning to march on the capital. So we're just about crossing the buffer zone between district number 9, district number 10. So officially now we're in district number 10, Monrovia County. And we want to go around the Catholic Junction area, and then we'll turn using VP Road and get on the old road. Okay. So we're just passing the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC. Headed to Catholic Junction. So you see students all along the wayside. Since this morning, we've seen folks going about their activities. Some will argue that, look, if you're about to stage a major protest action, at least as of this time, we should see people gathering in their masses, in large numbers, and all of this. But we want to go to district number 10 and see if we can speak to Representative Koluba to know what their plans are this morning. How are they planning on getting to the capital? All right, so we're almost around the Catholic Junction area. Turning in is going to be a serious challenge, but we'll do our best. All right, so this again, right here is another spot. Whenever there is anything political happening in the country, people gather here. This is one of the pickup points whenever there is a protest or a political rally, and we haven't seen police officers here as of the moment, aside the traffic cops, aside the traffic cops that are doing their routine stops here. Okay, so we haven't seen anything of that sort. So the gas station here is empty, and we haven't seen any police officers, here. So passing the headquarters of the Alternative National Congress here on VP Road, the ANC, and we headed on the old road to see whether or not mobilization or mobilizing is happening as people get ready to march on the capital. So you see students, marketplaces, and the rest. All right, so folks, we are around the Old Road Market, and we're in district number 10, Monserrado County. The representative of this district, Representative Yeke Koluba, is one of the lead proponents of this march on the capital. We've been informed that the protest will be starting around Famuma. All right, so we passed Famuma area. We didn't see, the mass gathering, but we're on the old road now. This is the road, the main road on the old road, if you want to call it that way. The old road on the main road, and all of what we've seen so far, normal business activities. We're trying to get in contact with Representative Yeke Koluba to know where they will be commencing their march on the capital from, and what is the anticipated strength number of individuals they will be taking to march on the capital. Yeah. All right. So we just got information that Representative Koluba is now going to be marching along with people from his district, according to an insider very close to the representative. That people from his district are going to make their own way to the capital and protest, but he's now going to be marching with people again. Well, we'll be watching to see whether or not that is going to change, but that's the information we've gotten so far. As compared to the representative of district number 9, Frank Saoco, who said he will march with constituents from his district up to Capitol Hill. District number 9, district number 10 are just adjacent each other. So we'll see if we can go to district number 10 and see if the district number 9 and see if the representative there is also getting ready with his people to march on the capital. But we've seen some parts of district number 10. There isn't anything of mobilizing that we saw. Again, we've been informed that some of those proponents of the protests are going to lead people to Capitol Hill, and others are going to be there, and people, their folks will arrive there as well. So how successful this will be in terms of the turnout is what we are also looking at. And this morning, so far, the planned protest action, the news of a planned protest action has not disrupted normal business activities across the capital and its surroundings. So we've seen people are going about their activities, and we do see deployment of police officers, but it's not on a very, very large scale. People going about what they ought to do for today. The news has not disrupted normal business activities. As to whether or not the actual protest action is going to cause a disturbance up Capitol Hill again, we can only bring to you the happenings, and not so as to much tell you what is going to happen. Again, these are real events, and you cannot tell where and which side is going to go. So the Spoon Network is going to provide for you full coverage of the march on the Capitol protest. So we want to make our way to district number 9. Wow. We want to make our way to district number 9. See if we can even speak to the representative of that district, Frank Saoco, who has said he's going to march with his people up on the Capitol and tell his colleagues that they need to come and do the Liberian people's business. But the majority of black is going to argue counter and say, look, we have been doing the Liberian people's business. It's your black, the minority, that has not been able to carry out the Liberian people's business. We have had quorum, we've had sessions, we've been discussing the budget, we've been inviting heads of institutions and agencies, we've been doing our oversight responsibility, we've been doing everything else that we have to do as our functions. You have not been working. You've been suspended. Remember, Saoco is one of the 7 representatives that have been suspended there by the majority black in session. So we will be going to district number 9. We already in district number 9, but we'll be going to the political capital of district number 9, which is Lakwasi, and see what sort of mobilization is happening there as well. And we'll see if we can speak to the representative of that district. But we do see a solo NTA bus, but this bus is probably en route. Okay, so that bus is on its normal It's on its normal transit route, so it's not forming part of anything. But when we see things, we have to make sure we get a clear understanding of what it is. So that NTA bus is on its normal transit route. It is not to pick people up. Pictures can be deceiving. So we're now turning the Vamuma intersection to make our way on the airfield. Okay, so while we're looking for protest action, we see bike arrest action by the police officer there, which is a normal traffic routine since the regulations came into play. Okay, so fellow on a J-Star. Yeah. Alright, so the police officers here at Vamuma have their tear gas canister guns. We want to stop for a moment and just show you in terms of presence. Okay, so folks, in terms of presence, the officers here at Vamuma, they're not many, as we said, but this is a major assembly point when it comes to protest actions here in Liberia. This is one of the major assembly points, and this is district number 9, Monrovia County, and the representative of this district is also a part of the protest action. He has said he will lead his constituents and those who are forming part of the protest. He will lead them to the Capitol building. So we want to cross quickly and just show you the presence of officers here at Vamuma. So at the Vamuma House area, this is where we see officers of the Liberia National Police. They are stationed here. Their riot shields are also positioned. So there isn't, again, the large presence, as you can see, there isn't the large presence of police officers just around their booth here. Their riot shields are also just stationed right here, and normal activities ongoing. So the officers are not even in any posture as in readiness for any sort of protest. They just stationed, their shields are stationed, and that is what it is. So the protest there that is poised to take place on Capitol Hill. This is one of the major assembly points that people do gather whenever there is a protest in this country, to be able to march to the area of concentration where they'll carry out their action. So from all of what we've shown you this morning, it's still folks going about their normal activities, and students are in school, as you can see, and everybody's doing what everybody's got to do this morning. Yeah. All right. So we will continue our tour in district number 9.
We'll continue our tour in district number 9 and see if we can go towards the Lakbasi end. All right, so we will go to the residence of the representative of this district, Frank Saoco. So we headed towards the Lakbasi end. So if you're just joining us, we've been on this for at least over an hour now, showing you around Monrovia and its environs ahead of the march on the capital planned protest action. According to the organizers, is poised to be 2 days of continuous protest against not just what's happening up on Capitol Hill, but according to them, several other counts of actions and inactions of the Boycott Kuhn administration. But the foremost reason is the impasse, the leadership impasse up Capitol Hill, the removal, according to the majority black, of Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa, and the attempt to remove the speaker, according to the minority black of the House of Representatives, the decision of the executive and the Senate to do business with the majority black, and a host of other things that has ensued on Capitol Hill since the 17th of October. So we're almost in the Lakbasi area. We'll see if we can go to the residence of the representative of this district, Frank Saoco, and see if he and his folks are gearing and getting ready to march on the capital. So we're on the airfield. We're around the Lakbasi area. Okay, around the Lakbasi area, want to go to the home of Representative Frank Saoco and see if people are gathering around, and if so, if we can even get an audience with him for a minute or two to tell us how they plan on going to the capital. He has been suspended though, but he's not been barred from going on the grounds of the capital. He's just been barred from exercising official functions of a lawmaker. That suspension was enforced by his colleagues, first adding the number to 7, the 3 previous representatives who were suspended. Now we have 7, and they're all from the black of the embattled Speaker J. Fonati Kofa. All right, so we're not seeing the heavy presence, but we want to inquire though. That's what we're going to do. We are going to inquire from those that we see around his residence if they're forming part of any planned protest action. That is what we want to. That's what we want to inquire. But we do see people just around his residence. But as to whether or not they're coming for any protest, we just want to. We just want to inquire. Okay, so I'll leave the phone here for a minute. Let's go and see. Once we get the information, we'll come back for the phone. But we here. Good morning. That's okay. Oh yeah, you can spot. My dad can spot. What I can spot. Yeah. So, what's the chief value? Good. Come on. Ça va bien? Yeah. Avec yeah, j'ai interview one talk to him 5 minutes. Yeah, so we do see a handful of gentlemen here. Calls are being made and all of that, but there is there isn't the mass gathering as of now. Yeah, so we've had to have an audience with the representative for, and we'll see whether or not we'll get that audience. But um, just using my eyes to count roughly around 10 to 11 persons here at the moment. You saw some? You did your boss man yet? All right. All right. So we are waiting. All right. I come in. Tell you that live interview. I want to bring my phone. Yeah. Just for a minute. So I can bring my phone, right? I'll bring my phone. All right. So we've been granted an interview with Representative Frank Saoco of District number number 9, Monserrado County. So we we are going to conduct that quickly as we as also met some colleagues of mine on the ground just to know from the representative how let's listen if he's ready. Sam, what's up? All right. All right, folks. Good morning again. We here with Representative Frank Safoco of District number 9, Monserrado County.
Morning to you, Representative. Good morning.
Good morning, Diamond. Good morning to everybody.
Yeah, we do see that you are one of the key proponents of this march on the Capitol, this White Tuesday, and we've listened that you are going to lead people on the grounds of the Capitol. How prepared are you for today?
So basically, I'm 100% prepared. As you have seen that I'm already worked, and we actually have our people stratified in the different of our district. We thought to be sensitive about the matter, and we are very strategic, and we try to control the security component of it because we don't want anybody using our platform to abuse the law. So we try as much as possible to do everything humanly possible that this process be very peaceful. So as I speak to you now, we are strategic. We'll be picking up very soon. We just got our update from our different points, and all of our points are almost prepared. For me to pick up. So I am picking up from my home, and as I move toward Vamama, and I will just, gradually we'll have a stop. We'll have a stop until we collect our people because my district comprises of different streets. Okay, we have Vamama, we have 24th Street, and all of those different streets going along to the capital.
Yesterday, like I said, I was going to get about 8 o'clock this morning. I went to Vermont by 6. From 6 to 7:30, I couldn't see anyone.
Yeah, but we don't have to tell you. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. They play in school. In school, when they say 8 o'clock, it means at 8 o'clock. But when we tell you 8 o'clock, you've met me, I'm already prepared. I think you met 1 or 2 persons. You met a few people out there. So like I told you, we have to be strategic. We have to be very strategic with the matter. It is not just about proving point to you. We want to do the right thing. And as soon as possible, keep your life on. You're here to follow. So, very soon you will see people moving. But like I told you, we're not going to gather everybody at one point. We have different picking up points. So we don't want to overly stress our people. They already don't have money. And what we are doing, we are not giving money to anybody to do this. So, our people voluntarily came out. So some of them, they don't have the transportation to pay their way from 12th Street, 11th Street, 10th Street, 5th Street to come all the way here. So what we ask them to do, let them just be strategic at their various intersection. As we reach there, we're going to pick them up to move on. No, I told you this is not a protest. As I told you, my people are accompanying me today at Capitol Building. So I am now. Why are they accompanying you, Representative? They have always accompanied. They have always. The beginning of this process, you witnessed it, and it was carried by spoon. My people visited me. They took me at Capitol Building. Somewhere around May, my people were at Capitol Building. Just not too long, my people were also at Capitol Building. So this is something that I usually do. So talking about the security component that your follower won't use the law. What do you mean? Basically, sometimes when you announce these things that you're going to do this, other people sometimes want to take advantage of it and come just to, create a different scene and make it appear like you want to cause problem. So we ourselves, we need to put our own security into place, into perspective, so that we know exactly we can get a count of every individual that's going to accompany us at Capitol Building. Your people are taking you. Is it in line with the current battle of Capitol Hill? Or your suspension by the majority black? No, I don't want to give credence to. I don't want to give credence to the suspension, but I think my people believe that things that have been happening on Capitol Hill for some time. They think that we are not doing their work, and they are concerned. So they want to talk to me from Capitol Building because I told them that I've been going to work. So they are concerned. So we have to, and they told me that this time around they want to work with me to go to Capitol Building. So why if you get a Capitol Building and then you be stopped by? Oh no, I don't think that is possible. I don't think the police can do that. Yeah, nobody can stop me from going to work. It is not possible. Now you need a suspension. No, I'm not suspended by whom? Kofa did not suspend me, and if even Kofa had it thought to suspend me, there are procedures that leads to that. So it's nothing to jitter about. I'm not suspended by anybody. So you excuse me. So you want me now to suspend Richard Kuhn, and you say focus suspend Richard Kuhn? I'm not a legislator. Just speak to that issue. Oh, okay. But you're not a legislator. You just asked to that issue. You the question because there was a plenary decision. Which plenary? So it means I mean, again, like I said, I'm peaceful about that, and I think it's a mere joke. Mhm. But that is Yeke. Yeke is representing district number 10. I'm representing district number 9. Yeah, I mean, that's how you define it. That's a component of the definition. But I'm telling you that I'm moving with my people to capital. I mean, I remain consistent with what I have said. Thank you. It's a pleasure, Damo. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Representative Frank Saoco of District Number 9, Colorado County, stating that it is not a protest from his end, even though Representative Yeke Koluba said it's a protest, but he says it's not a protest. Rather, it's all right, folks. We just spoke to Representative Frank Saoco of Monrovia County, District Number 9. He has said it is not a protest from his end. Rather, he's been accompanied to the Capitol building by his constituents who are concerned as to whether or not he's working. As to the suspension by the majority black, he has said he's not suspended and he is going to work there. But now we're getting conflicting information, especially from those who are supposed to be the leaders of this particular protest action. So we've gotten information that Representative Eugene Colley and his group have already started marching around the Bamuma end. So we just want to go there quickly and then see if we can bring you scenes from there as well. So what started this morning as just a tour around Monrovia to show you what's unfolding, especially with this White Tuesday protest or the march on the Capitol, where 10 representatives have said they are going to lead their people on the grounds of the Capitol now. One of those representatives, Frank Saoco, whether it's a strategic way of not wanting to be associated with protest, have said he's not going there for a protest. Rather, he's just being accompanied to work by his constituents. Well, in his bid to show them that he's working. Let's see if we can go to Vamuma quickly and catch a glimpse of Representative Eugene Colley and his group. So we were earlier at Vamuma. We didn't see a lot of police presence. We didn't see a lot of gathering as well from the end of protesters. But speaking to Frank Saoco, he said he's not going to have people gather at a central point. Rather, as he's marching on to the Capitol building, his people will be joining him at every major point along the way. So that is his way of taking his people to the Capitol building. But we're going to Vamuma now to see if we can bring you images from there of Representative Eugene Colley and his group. Whatever the case is, up Capitol Hill, as of when we left, we didn't see the large deployment of police officers. Business activities ongoing around Monrovia and its environs. People moving about their activities as well. All right, we see a pickup full where they headed to. All right, whether they're going to Representative Frank Saoco's residence. Well, we've left already. But let's go to Vamuma now and see if we can bring you images from there as well. So folks, keep following the Spoon Network, Spoon TV.
We will bring you full coverage of the happenings of Capitol Hill. We'll be in the chambers, both the joint chamber and the main chamber of the House of Representatives. We will be outside on the compound. We'll be bringing you covering of the protest or the march. We'll bring you every angle as well as to what's unfolding today of Capitol Hill. We see a group of people that find a safe space to park first. In this thing, you have to be strategic, not just as a journalist. But let's see, we see a group there. Let's see who they are. Let's see who they are. All right, so this is stop and go that we're doing. Testing two. All right, folks. Please comment if you can tell us the quality of the audio. Just a minute. All right, so we just met this group here at the Famuma House area, and we've been informed that this group is marching to meet with Representative Frank Saoco of District Number 9, Monrovia County. So, folks, they are marching to go to the residence of Representative Frank Saoco as they are marching on the Capitol. So the group is moving. As we talked to the representative earlier, and he said he's not going to move with a very large number of people, but rather his people will join him at the various points. But the police is at the other end. These guys are undisturbed by the Liberian National Police, and they are moving to the residence of Representative Frank Saoco, we've been informed. So mobilizing is ongoing for the march on the Capitol. We're in District Number 9, Monrovia County, and this group is moving to the residence of Representative Frank Saoco. All right, folks, this is where we'll leave you at this moment. The rest of the team is going to take care of the coverage. My name is Diamond Slanger. I've been showing you since this morning around Monrovia and its environs, as these guys, according to them, are going to join with their representative Frank Saoco to march on the Capitol. Thank you so much for watching. What we can tell you is that around Monrovia, around the Capitol Hill, as of when we were there was nothing so much of disturbances, and the rest
of what is happening as well. So for ourselves, have for ourselves a wonderful, wonderful day, and the Spoon Network will keep you updated as to what is unfolding across the country. Bye-bye.